say?
Hey, girly. I've never heard you say that in my life. Welcome back, everyone, to Polite as Fuck.
To another week.
Another week. Hey, girly.
Hey, girlies.
Girly pop. How's it going? What have you
I
been
don't
up
think
to?
I meant it to come across as so, like...
Cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, it's okay. It was just
A
caught me
lot.
off guard. After I said I was going to work on controlling my laughter, that just sent it.
Anyway. What have you been up to? How's life?
I have been bopping around the country.
Yeah, you've gotten a lot done. You've done a lot. Seen the world.
I've seen the world and been back again. Was in Virginia, seeing our old friend from swim.
Yeah.
Got my first set of acrylic nails in my life. If you're on the video.
Beautiful. Do you like them? Are you a nail person? What do you not like about them?
I don't like how much stuff gets in
Gross.
the back.
Yeah.
I'm constantly picking because I'm like, there's crap back here.
Yeah.
I love the ASMR of what you can do with nails.
Yeah.
That I love. Don't love this color. Also on the video, I have a yellow thumb and an orange pointer finger, and I feel like I'm a chicken. Like when I put these fingers together.
Well, how often are you like this? I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you use these little chompers.
Chompers.
But anyway, then I went to a wedding. That was really beautiful. The East Coast, not in the dead of summer.
Mm-hmm. It's
I'm
really
like, oh,
beautiful.
this is actually pleasant. Like I feel like the spring or the fall, I'm like, I could do it.
And then summer comes
And then
along.
summer, I'm like, whew,
Literally can't even breathe.
Yeah. But then I got back really late on Sunday, and I've just been trying to catch up all week.
I can't believe you did that. Like just in and then up again Monday and starting
Went into the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit rough,
but that's what you do for fun little vacays.
and I got us hooked on Yellowstone
Oh, yes.
because of the flight. They had that on the flight, and then I started watching it, and now we're watching it, and I'm a fan.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
So good. My family's been watching it for a while now, and I think people have been. I think there's but this is the best thing is when you start something late, you can binge it. Because there's 5 seasons.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's like Game of Thrones. I feel like we're just catching up.
It's like cowboy Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting. So much drama.
I feel like I'm in my country girl era. I'm reclaiming the country roots that I have in my own way.
Yeah, I love
because
that.
I feel like
I know people when they come to see when people visit where we grew up, they're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I know.
Literally watching the show, I'm like, I had family.
People did that.
Literally.
And you literally have you have that.
And you
almost.
lived on a
I know.
freaking cattle ranch. We have the roots. Okay?
I know. These are our people. Oh
so
my God.
I feel like it's I'm making it cute and fun, and I'm embracing it, and not in the way of redneck, yeehaw.
Yeah, the really not so
conservative.
great parts of it.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a great little flow.
What about you? What have you been up to?
Been good, trekking along, working. I did some painting. I missed you too. I missed you too, dude. My life is I was should I go outside for a little bit? I painted, I read, which is great, and I do that when you're here too. But I was I wonder if I should go. You had mentioned that painting thing that was happening, or not painting, art festival or something. And I was I really would enjoy that. And then I was I would enjoy it more if Erica was here, so I'm just not gonna go.
I feel the same way. Everything's so much more fun with you.
Yeah. I also feel I can binge my really shitty TV show or the episodes that I've or things that I've watched so much when you're not here. Because when you're here, I want to Yellowstone. I want to watch something new.
Yeah.
If we're going to sit around, we might as well watch something interesting. When you were gone, I watched that Never Have I Ever on Netflix. And it was such a, teeny boppy thing. I fucking loved it. I was I could not get enough of it. The whole, every little aspect, I was I love it.
Sometimes those shows are really good. That's kind of like Friday Night Lights. I feel like you would like it because it's
we were just talking
football,
about that.
Americana, high school, I don't know. It's just fun.
I know. I also was thinking too, when you got home, like, we debriefed for like so long. You were gone for like a little over a week, and we were like having this, we had everything was needed to be discussed, and I loved it.
I know. I was like, I have so much to tell you. Okay, actually, I'll just tell you this one thing. Okay, actually,
I know that
this too.
I know.
I'm sure there's more I have to tell you, but that's not what we're here to talk about today.
No, what are we talking about today?
Wait, before we dive in, we got new cups.
Oh, cheer
this is
up,
why you should watch
fuckers.
us on YouTube, because
YouTube.
one, because I feel like we're pretty bad at describing things when we talk about like something we're visually looking at.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I forget to do that, and then when I listen back, I'm like,
What?
no one would know what we're saying.
I know.
But we got cups that say "Cheer up, fucker."
Yeah, they're really cute. We just have water in them now because, you know, it's the middle of the week, guys. But I'm sure they'll be filled with wine soon.
Anyway, we're talking about our moms today.
Yeah, recently was what was Sunday? Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. But we want to talk about all of our moms out there and our moms specifically, and wish them a happy Mother's Day. And start off with kind of talking about like, what is your relationship with your mom, and what do you like love about her?
I feel like I have always been a very independent person, which made having a relationship with my mother a bit difficult because of me, not because of her. My mom is a very like gracious person. She's a very adventurous person. I just didn't want to do those things with her. Like, she said that the moment I could brush my hair, I was like, don't touch me. I literally would dress myself, do my own hair. Like, I never wanted her help, which is like cool, but also sometimes I'm like, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, if I had a kid, I would want them to like let me do their hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. But, and then my teenage years, oof, it was a bit brutal. I think I was just like so insecure and like my independence of like not wanting anyone to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And my dad being gone in the military a lot, like, it forced us to be even closer.
Yeah.
And I didn't embrace that.
Yeah.
But my relationship with my mom now, I think, is a lot better.
This is like mirroring everything.
Yeah, I do want to hear yours. I don't want it to be like negative, because I have great memories with my mom. We had great moments. I think there's just this, I get sad when I think about like all the missed opportunities, because once you move out, like, the times that you see your mom or you go back home is so short. That window is so short. And now that my parents are divorced too, like, it's even shorter because I have to split the time between them. Yep. And I'm only home for 4 days or whatever. So it's like, I try so hard to like cherish that time. And I know there are things that I could let bother me or like, you know, get upset, but I'm like, I only have so much time. Exactly. Like, I just want to hang out.
No, I think that's a really good point and like a great point to start off with. And I think like, I'm going to speak for both of us when I say like why we want to do like a Mother's Day episode, because that is being a mom. And like, I've talked about this with my mom a lot recently, because I feel very much like looking back on childhood, teenage years through college, I was like, oh my gosh. And now like as an adult, I'm just realizing like, I've asked my mom so many times, like, how do you not like resent us or like, or upset or like slap me silly all the goddamn time? And like, how did you deal with that? Because yeah, I love my mom and I've always loved my mom, but I was such an asshole. I was ridiculous.
Yeah.
For like what reason? And like I remember being so like in the moment, like independent, maybe not so much like I can brush my own hair, but like there were moments where I was just mean. And like for what? And in my mind, I remember feeling justified for whatever it was, but it was just like opportunities to grow and connect with her. I just moved away from that for some reason. But I guess that's not everybody's, what it looks like to everybody in their relationship with their mom. It's very different for everybody. But I also think what makes it so special now is I look back on that kind of like with a positive outlook, instead of like, yeah, it's sad, but it's also like I have to cherish the time now. Because not even because of like because of lack of time, but also because I've learned to like I don't want that. I don't want to
Yeah.
be that person. I don't want to be mean. This is who I'm going to be. So I'm just going to start having that kind of relationship with her.
Mm-hmm. I think too, like, yeah, I can look back and be sad, but I also, like, my mom was a swimmer. Like, she got me into swimming, and that was, like, the whole highlight of my childhood.
Yeah.
That she gave to me. I'm probably going to cry, like, 20 times in this episode. And, like, I did my first triathlon, like, Olympic distance triathlon with my mom. We went to June Lake, and we did that together after I graduated. And just, like, she always, like, oh, gosh. Pulling it together. Even though I was such an asshole, she would still, like, go out of her way to make sure that we did things.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Which is so selfless. Like, when I think of my mom, I'm like,
what?
Such a selfless person, especially because there were 5 of us. Like, you have to be so humble and empathetic and kind and nurturing to be able to, like, be a good mom to 5 kids. I don't know how she did it.
Yeah.
Or does it.
And, like, be able to have that. I honestly can't, I cannot picture it. Like, I don't like, it's a type of, like, strength that I will never understand, because I'm like, how?
Also, strength of, like, how the heck did you give birth to us?
Oh, that's honestly, that's a whole other thing. But no, I totally agree with that. Like, even though there were moments, I think there were, and it's different for everybody. There are so many aspects in your life that contribute to the relationships that you have. But, like, a mother-daughter relationship is so important. There's a lot of women in my family, and as I get older, the more and more I'm realizing, like, how much we rely on each other and how strong we are, and how much I don't want to, like, let go of that bond. I want to be able to, like, you know, build it and, you know, keep growing, and also pass it on to the next generation, whether it's, like, children that I choose to have, or, like, my sister's child. Like, that's how we do that. And the only way to do that is by, like, caring and talking and communicating. And I think, you know, for me, growing up in a military family, like you said, like, moving around, not really having, like, a dad that was consistently present, and, you know, even though there were hard times where I was being, you know, like, a little child asshole, but I don't even know what other word, because that's like literally what I was. There were, like, snippets of moments where, like, even in that, like, I remember I could literally be yelling at my mom because she told me to do my homework, or because she told me I couldn't quit swim or whatever. We have this full-blown fight.
Yeah.
And then, you know, an hour later, when I have a headache because I've been crying, she comes to my room and literally, like, holds me and gives me water and puts me to bed. Like, what? How did you do that, Mom? Honestly, like, and like you said, like, it wasn't just to me. And then the next moment, like, I'd be crying because we're having an argument, but she's also having an argument with Isabella, Sophia, Anais, like, all of these people, and, like, having to cook dinner and, like, all on her plate. And, like, you don't realize it. You don't see it. And, like, I didn't see on her plate. And, like, even now, like, we talk about it, and she's like, I don't ever, that question, what's for dinner? I will kill you. She was like, I love my family. And because she's grown, because it was like, everything was on her, and we didn't realize, you know. And it's so beautiful to be able to look back, and even though I know I was an asshole, like, to realize, like, how the unconditional love my mom gave me to be able to provide me with these, like, deep core memories, whether it was, like, just laying in bed, or, like you said, like, you know, my mom and I did DC once, like, Washington DC. She was graduating from college, and we met there, and like, it was just like, yeah. Like, we're gonna be done crying. That's where we're starting. No more crying.
But speaking of crying, what is your favorite memory? Do you have a favorite memory that comes to mind when you think of your mom and your childhood?
It's definitely because we were literally just talking about it, but, like, oh shit, I don't know. I was gonna say DC, but there's, like, so many. That was just, like, such a big, like, adult thing. Like, I remember ordering my first, like, whiskey drink there. It was disgusting and I hated it, but I was like, oh my god, I'm, like, an adult with my mom. Like, this is fun. My 17th birthday, my mom took me to the brunch at Hotel Del here. This is when we lived in San Clemente, so we drove down. We had a whole day of it. And we did the brunch. It was like back when I was really into photography, so I was taking like a lot of photos, like because it's really beautiful. And then we also did this like true crime, like you're in the audience and they're like, it's like small, not like, it's not like a comedy show, but it kind of looks like it in there, like some sort of like theater dinner thing, which is like so much fun. And then we had like, we got ice cream sandwiches after all around here. And it was like, I don't know, stuff like that where it's like so simple, like just Googling what's going on in San Diego. And she like was able to make that time and it was so special. And I don't know, little things like that.
I love that.
Yeah. What about you? Good luck.
A lot came to my mind, but most of them are honestly like when I left the house, which is like, not that I didn't have good memories, but it's like they were richer because I appreciated them more. I appreciated that time and I was definitely more like present and aware of the time that I was spending with my mom. And if I think of ones before that time, I don't know why going to the library as a kid comes to mind, but I loved going to the library. Yeah. And the fact that my mom like made time for us to do that and like take us to go read and like instilled that in me, I appreciate. But the other memories I was thinking of, one time we rode our bikes around Lake Tahoe. My mom's a very active woman. And I also enjoy being active. And I think I didn't know how to have that balance of like, we can both enjoy being active. Because it was almost like I resented or like didn't want to be like my mom. Yeah. But now I'm like, no. Okay. Yeah. My mom's a badass and I would love to be like her. Yeah. But we rode our bikes around Lake Tahoe. We've done this twice. The first time, I kept getting a flat tire. My mom's just zooming ahead. And she was like, I was wondering why you're going so slow. But it's because I had a flat tire. And then I think the toilets flooded back home. So we had to like go back and get picked up. And it was just this long thing. But then we did it again and it actually like worked out. And that's just like Tahoe in and of itself is so beautiful. And to be like doing that together with my mom was really awesome. And then recently, this was like this year for Christmas, I booked us like a hotel and a spa day. And my mom has never had a facial. And she was like, oh my gosh. Like it was just like cute to see her. So cute. And like excited and like talking with the lady and in her little robe. My mom is literally like so tiny.
She is.
Dang it, Ellie. Oh. Also, my mom blessed me with the gift of emotion. And I will cry.
Same.
All the time.
Thanks, Mom. No. That's awesome.
All right, let's talk about your article.
Yeah. I think recently, as we, just shared about how, like, growing up, we've realized that, like, we want to have a stronger connection or kind of fix kind of the relationship that we may have built in the past. I just started thinking, like, how important mother-daughter relationships are. And I think, I see it not even just in my mom, and I think you can agree, like, in any relationship with any mother anywhere. And, like, it's just such an interesting connection that people have together. I see it in like, the generations where I see it in like my aunt, I see it in my cousin, and then I see it in my cousin's daughter, where it's like that, literally that generation right there, all in one household, building up this way. It's just, it's really beautiful. And so talking about this episode, I was just like Googling some things, and this article on style craze, never heard of it, don't even know what it is. It's like one of the first things I clicked, so I was like, let's roll with it. But it just mentioned a few things, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it and kind of see what you guys think too of why do mother-daughter relationships work. And the first, like, the main thing that it says was, it's like the cornerstone of the future of any relationship a woman may have with those around her. So basically saying your connection with your mother is like in the like deepest fibers builds how you connect with other humans, not just like other women, but like other humans. And I totally see it in my social life, especially the older I get. I socialize the way my mother socializes. Do you see that in yourself?
Yeah, I was actually I'm reading this book, very slowly reading this book about the power of female friendships. And in the first chapter, it talks about how basically that, like, your mom is your first example of friendships and like how she interacts with other females or like has those friendships. And I'm definitely not as good as my mom is about, like, she always makes time for her friends in the midst of everything else that she's doing. And, like, in high school, we would have dinners with her friends, like, switching houses on Sundays. I don't remember this, but, like, when I was in preschool, they had, like, a preschool, like, house swap thing where, like, one mom would teach the kids one week, and then the next week another mom would teach the kids, and it was, like, this cute little thing. And, like, she's just been really good about building, like, a community with other women. And I think especially when you are a military wife, like, you need your have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
What is your mom's?
No, I there is, like, a memory of mine when we lived in 29 Palms. There was this, like, big field where we would do, like, all sorts of organizations. It's where my dad, like, where, like, the homecoming was, like, when all the you know, Marines come back and everything. But I don't know what it is. It was Key something was, like, the organization that my mom worked for. And I think, like, there was a moment in my life where, like, she wasn't working because she literally, the age difference between me and my sisters is 7 and 8 years. So when I was 7 and 8, there were new babies in the house. So from, like, 7 to 8 till I was 10, it was basically, like, all hands on deck. Like, that is hard fucking work.
Yeah. And
so during, like, that time, once I was 11 or 12, she kind of jumped out of that role because the kids were starting to go to, you know, school and all that. She, like, seeing the transition from, like, being a mom at home to being, like, a working mom, and, like, have all of the wives come and talk to her, and, like, she was she helped get, like, a cleaning job of, like, cleaning the houses, like, on base and stuff. And, like, it was just incredible to see that, the way that she socialized. And I think when I think of myself, when I'm placed in, like, a group situation or whatever, when I leave the situation, I do think of myself, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remind myself of my mom, especially when I socialize. So I read this and I thought that was really interesting. The second thing that it said, for, like, why mother and daughter relationships are important, was the relationship between mother and daughter is the most valuable connection a woman enjoys in her life. And I like this for, like, I get what it's trying to say, but I liked the first part more because, like, I love, like, the relationship that I have with my mom, but, like, when I was a kid, it was not my most important relationship. Maybe it should have been, but it wasn't at the time because I wasn't feeling it. Like, I didn't know. So I feel like to put it on there, you know what I mean? I feel like I liked the second one better than that. I mean, I thought it was interesting, but I was just like, I don't know about my thoughts on that.
I agree, and I agree with you. And I also think, like, when you put that pressure on one relationship, like, that is a lot for one relationship to be, like, the best or the all fulfilling. Not that that's what it's saying, but it's like hopefully your mom or whatever mother figure you have in your life is, like, an amazing example to you.
Yeah.
But no human is perfect, and no, like, connection is perfect. And I look to other women, like my friends and things, for other areas of my life. Not that my mom lacks per se, but, like, I don't know, she's just not everything.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, no, and like, just thinking too, I didn't want it to be the best because I'm so glad of where it is now and how we grow. And I feel like if it was, you know, if it filled all of that, like, she's always been there for me. It's not the condition, it's not a conditional love, it's unconditional, and I feel that. But I think, like, in order, like you said, to put that much pressure on it also implies that there's no room for growth. And I feel like that is the most comfortable and rewarding relationship growth that I've had. Whereas, like, I've had relationship growth with, like, partners, with friends, with my dad, but, like, I really do distinctly see the growth with the relationship with my mom and how, like, connected we are on all sorts of things, and how much I feel like I can fully 100% be myself with her, which I think is even better than being the most, whatever it said, most valuable connection. But
yeah, I think family connections in general are usually the most valuable. Like,
yeah,
my connection with my siblings, I mean, I've said this before, but I would literally, like, die for them. They're, like, everything to me.
Yeah.
But that's not just one relationship. It's, like, a lot.
The whole dynamic. Those people in your inner circle. It's why it's so important to have, like, decent connections, because it's, like, part of growing. And then the second part that I wanted to touch on was traits of a healthy mother-daughter relationship. So the first thing says they acknowledge each other as individuals and spend adequate time, neither too much nor too little. And I love that. I think that when I think of like being a mother, I think about like, and I think about this a lot, especially since I work with kids, but like psychologically where kids are at and like literally what they're able to do and like how moms are just like good at knowing that.
Yeah.
Like they just know. And so I think in terms of like this where it says like adequate time with or without each other, like she just knew when it was too much or like when it was a good opportunity to spend a full day doing things with. And I think that is, I definitely agree with that. Like the healthiest time is knowing like the amount of time that you spend in and out of their like life, if that makes sense, or presence, I guess.
My mom, like, I don't talk to my family as much as you do, but my mom is really good about texting, like, just like thinking of you, or like, hope you're having a good day, or sending just like one-off messages like that.
Yeah.
I've said this on the podcast, I know for a fact that like when I think of someone, I should text them, and I think of her often, and then I just never do it. Yeah. So like, she just knows. She knows to reach out and like.
That's very true. And I think my mom does that too. Or like if it's just like a emoji heart back or something like that, it's just like, I get it, but like the presence is there and like the love is there, and that's the time that we have to give. But it also makes the time where we're able to talk and catch up so much more special. They can disagree without being disrespectful. This is in bold. Literally nothing else in the article is in bold except for that, which I think is like pretty self-explanatory. It's a learned trait for sure, but it is good. I think just strong-willed, like women who birth and raise strong. I mean, I guess the strong independent come from the strong and independent, but like, God diggity dog. Like, it's just like, fuck. I was ready to go to battle some days.
Yeah.
My poor mother. The next one, most of their conversations are open and honest without guilt tripping. Isn't in bold, but I do think that that's learned. Both contribute equally to the relationship. Contribute. Why did I say that?
What was the other word? Condemn?
No. Can we just stop? It was gone bad.
I hate that I just said that. I was meaning condemn, not condom. Sorry.
Condom. Condom. Okay. We're starting over. Okay. The next one says most of their conversations are open and honest without guilt tripping. Both contribute equally to the relationship, and mothers should allow their daughters to experience and overcome failures, while daughters should encourage mothers to widen their horizons and push their mental barriers. I push like mental barriers for sure. No, I like those. Anyways,
I think that's very accurate. Sorry.
No,
wrapping up.
No, I just like, I thought that was interesting just to read, because just like see it in my own life and also see like, oh man, that's a good point. Like living and working up to that and creating that relationship with my mom as time goes on. Because there are some things in there like that are just now being learned, and we're able to, communicate in a better way, I think.
Yeah. I would not open up to my mom a lot growing up, I think, because I was so I don't know if scared is the right word. I just like didn't want her to like judge me or I don't even know. I was like, I wanted her to be like my best friend, and I was like mad that she like didn't want to just hang out, but she was my mom. Like she's gonna be wanting to give advice or be like, no, you're not doing that, or and I respect her for doing that, and not because some people do have that relationship, and not that that's a bad thing, I don't think. And just glad that
that's not what you had.
That's not what I had.
Yeah. I think there were moments where I crossed that boundary with my mom, and I think she was put in like a tough position. But I think sometimes like just growing up and realizing like we just grow together, and I think because of the way that we had our relationships, or the way that we had our relationship regarding like those kind of boundaries, it makes me realize it was such a lesson to learn that like just because you have kids or you see a mom or you are a mom doesn't mean like, okay, like I'm put together, I am done, and this is who I'm going to be forever. Mm-hmm. Because I think as I grew up and started asking my mom and like wanting her to be my friend and having these conversations and then seeing her grow in communicating with me and like her, you know, she would open up too about like what her growth is. It like opened my eyes to realize like, I love that. Like my mom is growing too. And I think it took a second to realize like, wait, aren't you supposed to be the same person who you were when I was 5 years old? Like, no, I wouldn't want that for her either. Just took a long time to learn.
Mm-hmm. I had this one idea. I don't know if it will actually work, and we can cut it out if it doesn't.
Okay.
But I was thinking we should take turns calling our mom on speakerphone.
Oh my God.
And ask like what their favorite part of being a mom is, and then maybe tell them our favorite part about them.
Oh my God, so we're just gonna cry. Okay.
Yeah.
You go first.
Eric is calling and I wanted to talk to you today.
Hi, Mom. You're on the podcast right now.
Oh, goodness. Yes.
We're doing a mom episode.
Happy Mother's Day.
I'm on the podcast right now. Well, it's a good thing we're not FaceTiming. Well, actually, I've looked worse. But so a mom thing, what does that mean?
It's for Mother's Day. We're talking about our moms, and we're sitting here crying.
Literally.
Well, I was driving home from work, and I started crying. And I was like, I want to see, it was so fun to spend that weekend with you, and I loved it so much, and I was like, I miss you so much when I want to see you. And I cried for about a block.
Well, now we're both crying.
Well, now we're crying again, and I was just talking about that memory, too. While we're on this emotional train, can you tell us your favorite thing about being a mom?
Now that you've trapped me on live radio or something. I don't know, I guess it's not live. You can edit it, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of Hairspray when he says, our daughter's on local daytime TV. Like, so I feel like I'm on local daytime radio.
Ellie still hasn't seen that movie, so I'll show her.
Okay. Well, she's the reference.
Okay.
My favorite thing about being a mom, that I get to be a part of the lives of all these people that I've spent their entire life with.
Oh, I love that. Didn't expect it to be this
And I was
emotional.
also thinking, because of Mother's Day coming up, and I'm thinking about my mom and just thinking about being a mom, and I was like, if I had not chosen to do this, it's just it's kind of like, it's not a phase in your life. Obviously, I've had different, it's like I can divide my life into different sections, and it seems like so long ago that I was just a 10-year-old kid, and then I was just a teenager, and then you're just 20-something, and then you're a mom, and that's you're 100% just like, you're still yourself, and you want to not lose that because you're developing yourself along the way, but you get to be a mom, but then it doesn't stop. Like it's slowing down in the way that I don't see my kids as often, but I'll always be a mom, and I wouldn't have that connection with my own mom or with so many other people. Just to, you can't understand what it is, and like all the joy and great experiences. Of course, there's hard things, but it's always like, I'm so glad that I chose to, and that I had an opportunity to be a mom, because I can't imagine if I hadn't done that. But then it's like, I can still embrace this next phase that's coming up, and that I'm kind of in right now, where no one requires my attention as much, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so fun that I got to go to McKenna's dive meet, and I have to go to CJ's basketball games, and different things that I do with the kids, and it's fading out more and more and more.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because I'm glad I was there, and then I get to do different things on my own or with other people, but also like, I'm going to go up and go on meet up with Savannah or Julie. Like, I have all these, I'll always be finding a way to spend time with my kids. That will never stop happening.
Yeah. Ellie and I were just talking about how, like, we were kind of assholes, for lack of a better word, when we were teenagers, but now that we time that we have back, like when we're back home with our moms, we're just like so much more present and aware and like appreciative of that time. And it's like sucks that we weren't that way when we were together all the time, but now it's like those times, those few days that we get together are like I remember everything. Yeah, like it's so special.
It's so true. And it's just life. I mean, you're not unique in the way of just being a teenager. I mean, my sister Julie was like one of my leaders at church and there all the time. And years later in my 20s, I'm like, what? You were my mime teacher? Like, you were there every Sunday? She's like, I was there every Sunday and every activity. I'm all, like, I don't even remember her being there. This is my sister. Yeah. And like, you were there. It's just, it's just a very, not that you're sitting there going, it's all about me, but it is. You're a kid, you're a teenager. It's all about you and your own little world and who your own interactions, and you have connections with people, but you're still just very much not aware of people around you. Because I was thinking about my own mom today, and I'm like, gosh, I feel like I'm closer with my kids maybe than she was with me.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, not being critical. I just think, man, it's such a short time that you are at home with your family, as opposed to so many years where you're not. And then, so it is, I kind of have the same reflective thing. Like, you just take that for granted. You're just like, oh, I got to get up and get out of here and go away from these people. And then it's like, well, they're really great. And why couldn't I have just been content and enjoyed that too?
Yeah.
So that's just life, I guess.
Well, I love watching all the things that you're doing now and learning to play the piano, and I think it's cool that you are in this phase of life, and then I get to watch you be in it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I want to talk more, but we're going to carry on with this episode.
Okay.
So I'll call you later.
Thanks for letting me be a little blip in that.
Yay.
I feel like suddenly, like I was on camera, I'm so awkward now. Just like whenever if I was in a play, I suddenly can't just walk across the stage. I don't know how to walk anymore.
You did
Simply
great.
can't talk anymore. No, it's perfect.
I loved your answer.
Yay. Thank you.
Love you, Mom.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was emotional.
I know, I literally was sobbing.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry to bother you. I know you were talking to Grandpa, but you're on the podcast, and I was wondering if I could borrow you for like 5 minutes.
Of course.
Well, we're recording right now a Mother's Day episode, so happy early Mother's Day. But I'm excited for you to listen to all of it, but I'm not going to spoil it. But while you're here, we wanted to call our moms and ask them, what is your favorite part of being a mom?
I think my favorite part of being a mom is just seeing people that you've known their whole entire life grow and change and develop into totally different human beings than you first predicted. And just the loving them where they're at. It's just beautiful and surprising and hilarious. And I enjoy being a mother very much.
Wow.
Never thought I would.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a mother necessarily. And it turns out that I very, very, very much enjoy it.
Well, I love being your daughter. Erica's mom, Kathy, said the same exact thing, basically. Yeah, it's like, we're like literally tearing up because it's just like.
It's cool.
It is. And we're just, I don't know, we get to see you grow too. And like how our relationship grows as we grow and how time is just really, really valuable. So I love you.
Very valuable.
Yeah.
And I love you too. And I am your biggest fan. I always have been, and I always will be.
Oh, I love you, Mom.
I love you too.
But I will call you after. Thank you for talking with us.
I'll talk to you anytime, babe.
Love you.
And love you, Erica.
Love you.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that's spooky. Spooky, scary.
Telepathy.
Oh, God. Wow.
But also, just like, that is such a beautiful thing.
I know.
Oh.
That it's like,
golly.
it must be so, like, I can't even grasp it. Like, it must be something so, like your mom was saying, so deep down that it's like only moms can feel it. But I love my mom, and I love my mom for a lot of different reasons, and I'm so glad that we were able to do that. That was such a good idea.
I just was like, I feel like we need to be with our moms.
Yeah.
For this episode.
I love that. That was perfect. My
glad
mom
we
was
got
like, yes, it's late. Can I help you?
What do you need? But I did want to talk about like our thoughts on motherhood
Yeah.
for ourselves, and I'm actually really glad that your mom said that, because for those of you who don't know or haven't heard us in other episodes, the thought of having a child is like, wow.
Yeah.
And I was just with a friend who has a little baby, and like saw how much her day revolved around this baby.
Yeah.
And the selfish part of me is like, I love my life.
Yeah.
I love doing what I want to do. I love having my routine. I love being able to, at the drop of a hat, say, I want to go do this thing. And I go do it. And so the thought of having a kid is like, I'm sure I know I would love the child.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that it would come with its challenges, just like I gave my mom. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm that selfless.
Yeah.
I also, like, my own self aside, this world is terrifying. I think I'm scared of my own job with, like, AI and everything that's happening, and, like, how much we're relying on technology. And I could turn into this geriatric millennial right now, but it is, like, it scares me.
For sure. No, it's so true. And, like, before I have so much to say about this, but I'm going to come in with, like, a few facts just because I thought it was really interesting. CNN said that since 2007, there's been a 2% decline in birth rates in the U.S. And that even though, I even remember the talk, this like huge coronavirus pandemic baby boom, and in reality, it accelerated the decline even further. And since this year, the birth rate has dropped down by 4% since the previous year, which is like, doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot. Yeah. And in the same article, just some of the reasons why they had interviewed a few women. And for that, I really liked from this article, one was don't want the responsibility, fear of lack of support, life just is how it is, and the judgment either way. If you decide not to have children, you're judged. If you have children, you're judged at every opportunity on how you are raising the child that you created or love and are giving up your life to take care of and are now in charge of. You are like literally judged on everything you do. This other article, IdeaPod, I liked this one because it stated a few facts that not only, I just thought it was interesting because it stated like that basically the same thing, that the amount of people that are wanting to get have babies is not just in the US, it's all over the world. And also in the same article, it said like 50 reasons why women aren't, and I just listed a few and I want to see because some of them I totally agree in. First one, cost. Yeah. work, the amount of work, and that's for both the amount of work it takes to care to have a child, but also the amount of work to also have a career, because that's a big part of a lot of women's lives. Haven't met the right person, don't think I'll be a good mother, planet doesn't need more people, what it changes to my body, I already feel complete, and honestly I can't be bothered. So I just thought, like, just to have a discussion about it, because at first, like, I read that last one and I'm like, wow, that they really put that in the article. Like, women are just like, I can't be bothered. If I'm being like truly honest with myself, sometimes like that exact feeling comes to me where I'm like, I can't even think about it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I would be a bad mom.
Mm-hmm.
I by no means think I would be a perfect mom, but I feel like I'm good with kids. I love kids.
Yeah, same.
I think that I would enjoy being like a homemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I do. I think that I would like that a lot. I would love to have a garden and all these things and like do crafts with my kids or whatever. Like, I love that idea.
Yeah.
But the money piece is huge. And the relationship. Like, I would want to have such a solid foundation with my partner that I know we have each other and like we're the best of friends before
together.
I bring anyone else into that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, obviously divorce happens and stuff, and I don't want to speak to my parents' relationship because I don't know that relationship. But my mom got married when she was 19.
Yeah.
And I am a completely different person than I was at 19.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this, but it's like, if I would have gotten married to the person that I thought I was going to get married to at that time and we had kids, we probably would get divorced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have worked.
I totally agree. I think there are so many things, so many thoughts. And I think it's worthy of a conversation because I don't think we're the only ones that are in this position. I think especially this age, there are so many women. I hear it all the time in a life of like, what is our next step? I also think like this is a very natural feeling to decide. I think I love my independence, and I think it doesn't help that because of my independence, I have been, I took advantage of the privilege that I was given growing up and like educated myself. And, I literally work with children. It's not even about that. It's just more so of like the person I am, how life, when you have kids, may not look the same in 5, 10, 15 years, 19 years, 20 years. You know what I mean? Like it's dedication. It's a full life commitment, and, relationships, and there's so much that factors into it. I also think while, being able to be privileged and educate myself, I've also learned of like, I don't need to do anything. Like I don't need to have children. That is just because, that has been placed in so many people's mind for such a long time. I don't need to do that. So it's hard when I think about it because part of me is like, well, am I just rebelling for the sake of rebelling? Because I totally agree with you. I think I would love being like a housewife. I've told you this multiple times of what my plans will be.
And I know that requires work.
Oh yeah. Oh, fully.
Absolutely.
I just like it's kind of what I do now, only like having a garden. No, it is exhausting work. And I think you brought up a great point of it's great if you have the partner, the support, the strong relationship, the strong foundation, because you cannot do all of those activities every single day without a timeout. Like, that's fucking scary, especially when, you have to bring age into it. Like, I don't want to talk about it. People don't want to talk about it, but like, we're both 27. I am nowhere near a committed relationship, and I don't feel the need to have a child outside of a committed relationship. Same. I feel like if I wanted to even start that conversation, it would need to be in a committed relationship. And like, I don't know, you kind of run out of time. Yeah. And like, plays on my mind of like what to think and what I want and what decisions I make for me, not for anybody else. But like, yeah, all of those things that I just listed, like cost. The planet does not need more fucking people. It gave us a fucking virus for a reason.
Yeah.
Jesus
Christ.
The
cost, like, I'm definitely not going to have 5 children. I love my mom, and I love that she did that, and I love my siblings.
Holy moly.
I don't think, I mean, never say never, but I really don't think that's in my future.
Yeah.
But I'm also, like, yes, age is a factor, but part of me is like, if my clock ticks and I can't have a child, like, I know there's other ways.
Yeah.
And I'm fully not opposed to adopting or to foster. Like, there's so many kids in foster care.
Yeah.
Like, why do they not get to have a home because they didn't come out of my vagina? Like, that's just not, I mean, obviously there's a lot that goes into that too. But it's all like, I would need to be so confident in my relationship. I would need to feel secure in my finances. And it's like, yes, obviously things can happen. You can lose a job. Your partner can die or get ill. Like, things can happen. But it's like, I want to go into it with the best odds.
100%. Yeah. And I think too, like, as we described, like, mothers come in all shapes and sizes and forms, and motherhood can be like look different to so many different people, but regardless of, like, there are so many different ways to be a mom. I think this applies to all of them. Like, it's a lot of money. It is like a dedication to a life. It's a lifestyle change. And I also like working within the school system and knowing that there are so many foster kids out there is like, why, if I chose like to actually give birth to my own child, if that was like a route that I ever take or whatever, like, it is hard because I'm like, do I have the means to take care of this human being? Because it is going to fully grow into an adult person. Like, it's not going to stay a cute little squishy baby forever. And I think, like, you just see so many kids out there that have been, you know, that were not, and there's so many factors. I don't want to dive too much into it about like the fucking world women have been given and the shit we have to fucking go through to have a child, to not have a child, to stay safe out there. But it's just like hard because I'm like, there's so much like pressure either way, any way that you go. It's just, it's a lot to think about and to commit to. And you know, of course, like, I would want to be a good mom. I would want to be to commit to them. But like, that is basically what makes a good mom, is like, it is a commitment. A big commitment.
Yeah, I'm glad my mom had me. I'm thankful for my life.
Yeah.
I clearly am like very emotional about it, and like, I know my mom talks about it being like when the greatest challenge and the greatest joy.
Yeah.
And like, maybe someday I'll be able to experience it, but
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for our relationship and like what we have. And I hope that, I know that that is not common.
No, very grateful for that.
Very thankful. Yeah.
I think too that more and more people are choosing not to have kids. And to be honest, you know, crazy alert, whatever, say whatever you want. I tell my family I'm not having kids, and every single one of them is like, yeah, right. Like, whatever. Good. Okay, sure. They don't believe me. So we'll see what happens. But in the grand scheme of things, I think more and more people are choosing not to have kids. And that's why I haven't been like, oh my God, I haven't made it a priority in my life. Because it's like the what if game. I play the what if. I would have kids if, or not even the what if game, like just the if game. Like if the world was better, if it wasn't chaotic, if I wasn't like working paycheck to paycheck, if, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, that's not enough for me. And I think the actual, I don't even know what the fucking right word is, like motherly nature in me, which I know I have. I'm great with kids. I love kids. I love doing all that stuff, just like we said. But that part of me would not be able to thrive and grow and be able to take care of like a human being, another human being, and like help them shape them into the person that they're going to be because of the resources and what my life is like right now. And I think so many people are feeling that way. And I think it's a great decision that some people are like, you know what? I like my life. I have my dogs. I have my cats. I have my adventures. I'm traveling the world. Even there are so many people out there that are in committed relationships and they've just, what is that new thing? Double income, no kids or whatever.
Yeah,
have you seen
something
that?
like that,
I'm like,
yeah.
fuck yeah. That's awesome. Just because, and I don't think it's because they don't like kids or they don't necessarily want them or that they don't care about the kids that are in need in the world, because yes, there are too many. I think it's just making the best decision with the life that we have. And I think that is such a beautiful thing for the children that are growing up to see that that's an option for them to live in, because it's scary. You're so much quicker to becoming, you know, below the poverty line than you are being this like rich person, and having kids only adds to it. But I love kids. And I love my sisters. I love the family that I grew up in. I love I love my mom and the community that she has built in me and within the family. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Thanks, moms.
Thanks, moms. All the moms out there. My aunts, my sister. You guys are awesome. We love you. Wow.
Love
Gonna start
you.
crying again, guys.
I
We
know.
need to wrap it up.
All right, follow us on social media. Bye.
Do all the things. Love you guys. Bye.
That was brutal. That was freaking brutal.